Today we meet on this very special occasion of Guru Purnima. So, in the last satsang, we shared that there is absolutely no separation between you, the Guru, and God. They're all within, and hence they're all within each other. The same essence that we come from is in everybody. Let's take a moment to think about it. So write down for yourself if you have a book. I'll repeat the question. It is true that God and Guru are within us and everyone we meet. And yet there is a difference when there is a Guru in the body or the Guru in a specific form. And what is that difference for us? How does that change our experience? Who is the Guru? The ultimate mirror that is crystal clear. So why do we need this crystal clear mirror? Next question for you. How is the Guru different in essence and energy from your higher self? In what ways is the Guru different from your higher self? Is it true that your higher self is one with the Guru and God? Yes. But for majority of our time, we are not living in that union, are we? We are attempting to live in that union. So as long as we're not unified 100% of the time, no exceptions at all, how is the higher self different from the Guru? In the last satsang, we also spoke about water being an element, a teacher, and every form of water in all states of its being divine and also unique in its experience. For those of you who weren't there, it was taking the example of a fresh spring coming down as a waterfall, flowing as a stream, becoming a river, meeting the ocean, then becoming water vapor, the cloud, rain, and coming back down onto earth. So the cyclical nature of water is what we had discussed in the last satsang. Now, in every stage, we are part of that one experience. The Guru is beyond that experience. The Guru is with you, but also beyond that. So, Guru and the cosmic source or the supreme source, the consciousness that we speak of as cosmic consciousness, is actually the eternal existence. And the way Heather Khan Baba shared this with Leonard Orr was God is cosmic, Guru is local, with a postal address. As for a brief time, maybe just for a few years, some come only for a few months and then they dematerialize. Some take form through a mother's womb, some also materialize without the need of a mother's womb. They just come out of thin air, take on a body, create a body, come do the teaching, and then they dematerialize. There are so many great siddhas around the world who continue to come and go for the benefit of the collective consciousness. And that brings us to today, the Guru Purnima, which is supposed to be an opening of a new portal for all of us, not just here, the soul family, I'm talking about the world family. We are moving towards a new era of consciousness. As you can see, the collective is rising. And you get to decide in which direction you want to continue to move in or which direction you want to start afresh. There is going to be an inner urge to be more of yourself, to do more things that you have felt called to do deep inside of your soul. Now, what are some of those things for you if we had just 1 month to live in these bodies as these identities? In that 1 month, what is the spiritual goal you would like to accomplish? in just 1 month, what is the spiritual goal you would like to accomplish? Write that down for yourself. Now ask yourself if you've written an activity or a feeling. How many of you wrote an activity as your goal? Put your hand up. And how many of you wrote a spiritual goal as a feeling? Put your hands up. So those of you who wrote an activity, change that to a feeling. What is your spiritual goal? What do you want to feel? What is that spiritual goal? Because then that feeling has to stay regardless of what activity you're doing, what state of consciousness you're in, whether you're sleeping, thinking, walking, eating, pooping, that feeling can continue to stay. We are moving beyond activity, we are moving beyond rituals. We're not depending on rituals at any point of time. And why do we do that? It's so hard for people to move beyond identities and rituals. Why do we do that? Because even when you leave your body, we want you to continue your spiritual progress. Because the moment we associate with a specific ritual, it is based in a specific thought process, either a faith or a religion or a belief system. While it is good, we are now saying you are capable of moving beyond all of these frameworks that were made to show you that you are an infinite being, that were made to show you that you are a cosmic being. And in that process, I sent a very, very powerful Guru Purnima message to 3 people. Now I will share that message with all of you today. The concept of spiritual bypassing has a very negative connotation associated with it, right? And the reason that is because when we become unaccountable for our existence and our responsibilities towards Mother Earth and all the earthlings, that is what spiritual bypassing is referred to as in most cases. But in some cases, spiritual bypassing is direct experience. What is direct experience? What we are trying to share. That you do not, and those of you who were with us for the Buddhist Dzogchen teaching, which we did from Bir, we shared that you are that cosmic consciousness just by being you. All your bad qualities, negative qualities, good qualities, desires, non-desires, likes, dislikes, everything put together. You are already the infinite one in this body. You don't need to do anything extraordinary to become divine. You are already divine. You're already sacred. And if the divine wanted all of us to be cookie cut, replicas of each other, we wouldn't be having these unique experiences in the first place. So any teaching that is making all of you lose your uniqueness and asking you all to become one without diversity is again not understanding the divine design of the cosmic one, which is so creative that there are hundreds and thousands of species of just insects. So in this world that is so massive, and we are only talking about insects, there are so many thousands of species, and not just on Earth, across Earth, beyond this Earth. So when we can ask ourselves, if I can be in that direct experience of the cosmic consciousness every day, experience that oneness, that is not spiritual bypassing if you come back and complete your duties as a citizen of this planet. We are not creating a space here to enable apathy, which I observe some of you are doing in the name of spirituality. Apathy is the opposite of feeling for another human being, another creature, for planet Earth. The moment there is a very hard, rigid, dry sense of the other and me or us, if any belief system teaches hate, is not spiritual, it is the ego that is a wounded inner child, or maybe even an animal brain. We need you to recognize the difference between true spiritual teachings of love and oneness, love in diversity versus hate. If any of you give into fear mongering, any of you give into hate for any other creature, just the moment you feel hate, know that you have lost your spiritual self in that moment. It doesn't matter how many hours you do your Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, whatever else, read any scripture of any faith or religion, go to any temple, church, or masjid. If you are giving into hate, you have lost the plot. The idea of having a guru lifetime after lifetime after lifetime is because a guru remembers, shows you the mirror, has very clear memory of who you have been in the past, who you are in the present, who you will be in the future, because the guru has access to the eternal now, all of the Akashic records and beyond. Because the guru is not limited by the human body. And that is why we all need our guru to guide us to that eternal self. Then we might have moments of that oneness, but we are not living in constant state of oneness. None of us are, because we are in the human body. We are attempting to reach the highest potential, but we have not reached there yet. So the idea is not to give up, but the idea is also not to feel like we are above the others or better than the others. Or also believe that one schooling system will work for the whole universe. There is no such thing. There is no one faith which will work for everybody on this planet. There will always be people with diverse paths to that one cosmic creator. And a truly enlightened master will always respect those choices. A true enlightened guru will work with those whose souls are ripe. I am just a temporary tool, being here, doing this for the cosmic one. Your journeys continue. How, in what direction is for you to decide. What pace is for you to decide. You feel like, I am enjoying life. I want to run away from any sort of pain or struggle. God or Guru does not judge you. They let you go enjoy yourself for as many lifetimes as you want, because God and Guru are infinite. For them, it doesn't matter. Right? When you are ready, you will come back to recognizing that all of this pleasure is part of the game, but not to be consumed by it. There is no judgment towards money, sex, none of that. Absolutely no judgment. If someone is feeling embarrassed right now, work on it. There is nothing wrong with being in a partnership with someone. It's a divine process. That is why we have divine mother, father, God. That mother, father had to come together for us to be born. So why do we even shy away from something so beautiful and so sacred? If you do it with cosmic consciousness, offering it back to the Creator, that also becomes your sadhana. It is the intent with which you engage in every breath, thought, word, and action. Everything can be sacred. Everything. Write this down for yourself. Next is a story of Babaji. At the Goregaon Park house, once there was someone who brought roses to offer at the altar. And we offered them at the altar, kept it in the same glass, 2 roses. And one rose that was closer to Babaji, for over 20 days, it stayed blossomed. It stayed alive. And the one away from Babaji, which was just a few centimeters away, had become brown. And I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll try and locate it and share it with all of you. When you are close to the supreme source, for some of us, it is Babaji. For some of us, it might be some other form. But there is that supreme source that takes form for our benefit. Remember that all of the forms are ultimately trying to take you to the formlessness. And my prayer is that you are able to move into formlessness within this lifetime. Within this lifetime. That is my prayer for you. And what you do with that formlessness will be your choosing. Your free will choice will guide you. By then, if you have tapped into formlessness, you will have the wisdom in that moment to say where you want to go next. And you will not be doing it alone. You will have your celestial family to support you in your next decision. So some of you have said, for lifetimes I will be with you. No. This is the lifetime. And I'm not saying it for scarcity mindset to create fear. None of that, sweethearts. None of that. It is to say that there is no guarantee that we will be together again. Because the universe is infinite. There's so many dimensions. We may get called in different parts of the creation for different missions. So let us not make promises we cannot keep. Let us not make promises that also hold us back from living our divine missions. That is why I continue to say infinite love. Because that love is infinite. Eternal is a matter of time, and time shifts depending on your state of consciousness, where you choose to be, who you choose to be, what you choose to do, taking on an identity. So that rose that was close to Babaji, that had his energy in it. When we are close to the consciousness within us, the supreme consciousness, there is a life and a radiance that we cannot explain. Dhanashi's experienced Babaji's presence in her body during her Guru Purnima prior to this. That cannot be explained, it can only be experienced. She ensures her faith is always stronger than her fear. Fear does not disappear, and instead it gets louder sometimes, especially when the missions are bigger. If you identify with the ego, it gets loud. If you identify with the supreme source within you, naturally dissolves. It becomes like a little murmur, whisper, trying to hold on to its voice and presence. So if the fear gets loud, you're identifying with your ego. If you can see that the voice exists, but you lean into prayer in that moment. And I love Doreen Virtue's prayer, and I have prayed it all the time. Help me keep myself out of the way and allow your divine miracles to shine through. Let God's miracles shine and stay open to miracles. I keep saying that, right? Because in every lifetime we take in service of the Divine One, we have to start from scratch. And starting from scratch means fear is louder than faith in some moments. Because you've forgotten. You've forgotten that you're not the one doing anything. And I have spoken of insecurity in the past. The more insecure you are in your ego, and the majority of the time when you spend on yourself, you cannot be a channel of grace then. Because you're only thinking about yourself and your well-being. Even when you're in the presence of the Infinite One, you're only thinking about yourself. A true prayer is just silence. A true prayer is knowing that the one consciousness, it, he, she, they, that runs this creation, knows exactly what is happening in your life and knows exactly what will help you to make this life better. So if we can get out of our own way and allow that divine miracle to shine through, we will then begin to be channels of divine grace. Sasha, Mona, Manali Raze, thank you for being part of that team as well in 2020. Because when the world was collapsing, you all continued to keep the faith and dive in. And we did the summits in that year. That was Babaji's will being enacted through us. Right? We kept everything else aside and we did what was being asked of us. And we've continued to live our lives as much as is possible. All of us, every single one of you over here, in as much alignment as is possible. And that alignment needs to continue to deepen in this coming year. Always rooted in love for diversity. The books we are reading right now help you overcome your insecurities so that you can respect everyone else for wherever they are at in their soul's journey. I have lived a life in every religion. I have lived a life in different genders. I have lived a life beyond planet Earth. And I can tell you the diversity is the most divine part of this plan of creation. So if you get caught up in needing for everyone on this planet to have one belief, it is a misguided, misinterpreted plan. And unfortunately, as part of I say unfortunately only because it is unfortunate that souls forget to see the glory that already is, right? And we try to make nations, glorified again. Oneness is not about everything becoming the same. It is unifying in heart. To be completely detached to any other sentient being or to want something bad to happen to them. All this is not part of spiritual teachings. None of it is. The reason I say keep religion and politics outside of this space is because it is ego-based. But that does not mean I want you all to live unaware. That does not mean I want you all to be irresponsible citizens of this planet. I need you to be aware, not I. We need you to be aware of what is going on so that you don't unknowingly, unconsciously embody hate and propaganda. The most educated people are being brainwashed. That is not Babaji's teaching. No matter who comes and tells you Babaji wants everyone to live like this. No, that is not Babaji's teaching. That is not God. That is human made. And why? Why do we do this? Why is this painting even necessary? We are creating a relationship to something that is tangible, because the intangible becomes too hard for someone who is used to interacting with the world through the five senses. So anything visible, audible, any sensory interaction that you have is a temporary one. And it is a diluted version of the infinite cosmic consciousness. So when we pray to a cross, the cross is a symbol. This painting is a symbol. It's representing the cosmic consciousness. But to believe that this is all it is ignorance. And to believe that everyone must bow down to only one thing is also ignorance. I need you to recognize that you have the power to love, the divine in all forms. Write this down. I have the power to love, the divine in all forms. So where do boundaries come in if you can love everyone in all forms? Right? If someone's misbehaving, someone's doing something that is disrespectful, then you have to ask yourself, disrespecting whom? There are so many nuances. You can't give one blanket message in this particular case. But if you are witness to something and you can stand up for something, you do. In your own life, you are anchoring change. In whatever little or big way, you are embodying that change. So many of you are trauma cycle breakers for your entire lineage. That is why life is hard. The divine works in miraculous ways. What you're doing, your grandparents could not do. Right? You're the first ones in your lineage to do something. So the ancestral energy that is working through you and the celestial energy that is working through you, all of that is being tweaked by the presence of the Guru. What other element does that? The sun. The sun ensures that the divine energy coming into you for your illumination is tweaked to your readiness. The sun is not just a source of warmth and heat and light. It is also the source of spiritual energy. So if you can tune into the sun every day, which some of you did as a practice for more than 21 days at a stretch, waking up at sunrise, looking at the sun, there were exercises given, right? So why did we do those practices? To open ourselves up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially to the abundance of the grace that comes to us through the sun. Every element, whether it is the tree outside your window or whether it is the footpath next to your house, recognize that your connection to life outside of yourself will support you in expanding your energy field. If you're only in your head all the time, you're living a very limited life. That is why we have practices and we spread it across the day as much as is possible, where we take breaks to come and connect again to our breath. Why? Because we want to get out of our head and be in the body, which is why we are on this planet. And the easiest way, the most accessible way to do that is through the breath. To continue to breathe consciously as much as is possible. Why is it important? to keep coming back to your breath, to the Guru, to the God within you. Because life just pulls you in so many directions. One phone call, one message can throw you off for the rest of the day. Right? And we feel responsible. We feel responsible for our loved ones. But if you are in a soul family, everyone is your loved one. Every person, human being, creature on this planet is your loved one. Can you take responsibility to ensure that every creature, every tree, every mountain, every river is having its best life? Can't, no? Because nature is cyclical. Humans have a cyclical behavior pattern, and it takes lifetimes. So the Guru and God are infinite in nature, so they understand. Someone's making certain choices, you let them make their choices. Whether it is your blood family, birth family, earth family, galactic family, you let them make their choices. If they ask you for support, you give the support without insisting that it is followed. Freedom of choice. Many people come to a guru, any guru, expecting guidance that aligns with them and their needs. The moment the guidance is different, people start slowly distancing themselves. Then the calls will stop, sessions will stop, showing up for satsangs will stop for a long time. Is there anything wrong with it? No. Why? Because free will choice. Everyone's allowed to do what they want. Right? So there's no judgment there. We are brought up in a world where we are constantly judging ourselves, criticizing ourselves, and it's exhausting. You figure out what you want your spiritual goal to be, and then align every thought, word, and action to that spiritual goal. It's time to start embodying it more and more for yourself, not just saying in your head. All of your wisdom that all of you have is here, right? The world would benefit if you all can share in whatever little way you can. So the message is, how can you make this world a better place? By being the divine self. And this is not about performance. Please remember, this is not about performance. It's not about how many people are suddenly appreciating and applauding your wisdom. If it becomes about that, you've been caught by the ego again. You embody the light because that is who you are. Let us now pray together. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. Love to all, peace to all, joy to all. Let us send out 3 ohms. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently rub your palms together, cup them over your eyes. Gently open your eyes when you feel ready. I'm very grateful to each of you. I love you all so much.